And we're officially live.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Sabrina.
Katarina.
Today we're diving into the Fool card as our episode numero uno of this tarot journey.
Our official mini-series, which we're going to have many of, but this one's going to be of the tarot and the major arcana. So this series is for anybody who wants to dive in deeper or have just a basic knowledge of how to apply the tarot major arcanas to themselves or to their life, or just feel like understanding tarot a little deeper.
Mm-hmm. Let's begin.
The Fool card.
The Fool. This is the original Rider-Waite. As we talked about, every single Fool card in every single deck has different symbology, different
way of seeing the Fool card, way of depicting it. Yeah, exactly.
You know, like
which is beautiful.
This is an oracle. It's the same idea, right? But it's with the basic tool. Fool.
It is a tool.
The basic Fool interpretation is 0 point, new journey, new beginning, taking a risk, right? He or she, however you want to see it, is dressed up in like a heavy kind of wear, like a jacket, dress kind of thing. And he has decided to release all of his material possessions. He sold his house. He sold his girlfriend. Okay. He sold everything to go to 0 point to start the journey again. And he brought his little dog here, white, pure baby dog.
His guide.
Which she told me today that it's like relevant to like our spirit guides kind of thing. Like you're never alone on the journey. And he brought it with himself, like a little backpack of essentials, right? Toothbrush, toothpaste, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's beginning his new journey. And then he goes to meet all of these major arcana, these lessons in his life, which we're going to talk about in the next 22 Saturdays.
Exactly. So it really represents the unknown as well, right? So you're jumping into something that you have no idea what you're jumping into. So you're jumping into this unknown state of being, and it's a big part of it is to learn how to trust, right? So It's a new cycle. It's a new beginning of a new endeavor. It could be work. It could be an emotional relationship. It could be anything. And it's a question of learning how to trust, to take that leap of faith, even if you don't have all the answers, you don't have all the tools right away. And it's just trusting that you will find it along the way. Trusting yourself, a big part of it too,
like,
right?
Can you be okay with it? Like, can you, the Fool card is like, can you go back to that beginner mind, you know? So like, let's say in your everyday life, you're wanting to jump into a project, you're wanting to start a new business, you want to start a new relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship, but you want to go back to the basics. You want to go back to zero, like a neutral mind within your relationship, to begin again. You know, there's that energy of
that innocence,
purity, right? That we were talking about. Well, what is pure and what is innocent, whatever, but it could be anything according to you. But the Fool card comes in and it's like, are you ready to like allow the unexpected to arrive in your life, right? Can you go into your journey without a to-do list, a checklist, or whatever the Fool doesn't have a vision, because his or her interpretation, his or her idea is just to like take that risk and jump off the bridge. Like her, she's like holding on with a little like thin rope or whatever that is, but she's leaning more into this unknown pool here.
And it's without attachments, right? Without attaching to anything. It's the Fool journey represents the birth of a child. So you have this childlike mind. Children, they have no attachments. They're just living the present moment, every single moment. And there's just this wonder and awe and curiosity and like, okay, I'm going to go this way. What am I going to find? Like they don't have any expectations. They're just going for it and they're trying it out, and they're going to get hit along the way. They're going to have just challenges, and you're going to actually face certain people that are there to help you grow, places, things that are going to help you grow. But initially, it's the first step forward. the first step in your journey.
And I
So
love that the Fool card, to me, like, I use a lot of astrology within my tarot, and the Fool card is the Aquarius energy. And as we are moving into this age of Aquarius, which is the unknown, right? Which is this new cosmic way, this new evolution of soul. Like, where Aquarius energy is stepping outside of the bounds. It's like ruled by the planet of Uranus, which is the rebellious planet. It's like, we don't follow your rules anymore. We don't follow the old rules. And that's the Fool. It's like, I don't want to follow the old ways, because as we talked about before, the Fool already did the journey. And now he's like, I know already. I'm done with that one. My past lifetime, my past whatever. And now I'm moving into something completely new. And I'm excited because the Fool is like, yeah, I have no idea what's coming for me. Can you do that in your relationships? Can you do that in your job, career, business projects? Like, how can you go in without a checklist, without like already
a plan.
That's like a big one.
Without a plan. And yeah, as she mentioned, what's beautiful too is that it's not like you're going fresh. You are going in this point zero, this neutrality, because you've done the journey and you're like, okay, I've done this journey. Let's try something new. Let's try something different. But that doesn't mean that you don't have all the lessons of that cycle, those memories, those lessons. They're ingrained in you, right? They're almost like in your DNA. So it's not like you're going. It's funny because the card is like the Fool. It's not like you're going like the Fool. You know, that whole saying of act the fool. So act the fool. But we have to remember also that acting the fool in its shadow sense, or in a reckless sense, the shadow aspect, because also tarot cards have not necessarily positive, but
reverse.
They have a shadow side to it. So just to finish up, what I was trying to say is that you do have all the information. Even though you're acting like a fool, you're jumping in as a baby, as a childlike innocence. It doesn't mean that, one, you don't have your guides that are protecting you, and two, like, you still have those lessons ingrained, integrated inside you somewhere, right? So your intuition will be playing a role, and it's going to guide you in the lessons that you need to go this time around. But yeah.
And what's wrong with acting like a fool, right? This is, I wanted to bring up this card especially because I got it actually for me this week. The Sacred Fool card. This is from Divine Circuits by Elena Fairchild. This is like, to me, exactly, people will look at the Fool, like the Joker, which is the Fool energy, and say, oh, what an idiot. Like, oh, he's a court jester. He's silly. He's like bouncing around and like making people laugh and blah, blah, blah. But to me, the Joker in the court is the smartest one, right? He's the one who sees everything. He's the one who's like bouncing around and listening to all the conversations and the kings and the queens and the knights cheating on each other. He sees everything, right? So it's like that. That's the kind of idea of the Fool, is that don't judge the appearance, right, of someone because they look like foolish or they act foolish or they whatever, that they don't act like an emperor, whatever. You know, it's like the Fool knows without knowing.
That's interesting.
But knows.
Yeah.
Right. It's that kind of like, that's why I love the Fool. I feel the Fool is like, I'm just going in and I'm gonna like jump right in and I'm gonna make a fool of myself. I don't really care because I'm at this, I'm empty, right? And I want to learn.
Yeah. It's like there's no judgments, there's no shame or guilt within them that makes them stop living that present moment. It kind of reminds me of a child testing the waters, you know, they're going, it's like they're acting the fool. It's like maybe they're doing it just to get a reaction from you, and it's working, and it's getting they're getting you to do exactly what you want them to do, right? The Fool is getting you to do exactly what they want you to be doing, so they could, I don't know. And that comes to, again, the shadow side of the card. So the shadow side of the card,
good segue,
is basically carelessness and an actual
insecurities,
but also like a you don't care what happens to that person type of thing, like a lack of empathy almost, or lack of compassion, more of a very selfish kind of way of approaching it sometimes. I'm just saying it in the shadow sense of it. I just thought of that now. I'm like, yeah,
Like
that
of
could be
someone
interesting.
else, of your
Of the
of
fool.
yourself.
You know, I was saying how the fool could also act the fool to try to get you to act a certain way.
Ah,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
I
And
see it.
it's something that just dawned on me now, where it's just like, oh yeah, like that could be part of the shadow aspect too, where you're acting the fool because you don't really care what happens to that person. You're just trying to get your own by
Oh,
being
it's
the
like
fool.
manipulative.
Yeah.
Like the magician, and he meets the next one person. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. I like
Yeah.
that.
It
Okay.
just like that just dawned on me. Like, yeah, that could be very true for
Because
for
the
shadow
fool
side of it.
in reverse is like fear, right? Your uncertainty, you doubt yourself. You're
Should I jump?
freaking jumping,
Should I
and then all
not?
of a sudden you're like, oh no. Like they told me that I'm a fool. They told me that I'm an idiot. They told me that I speak too loud. They told me that I can't do this because I like, that's all of us. This is the fool is us, right? We're all on this journey. We get to that full moment where we have tried to clear as much as we can, and we're ready to move into this next journey. And then all of the like low density comes back and shows up, and that's where the clearing of the vessel is. And it's like, oh my God, what are my parents gonna think? What are my teachers gonna think? What is the president gonna think? What is everybody gonna think? And who cares? The fool is like, it's not important. And the fool knows deep inside that he or she needs to figure his own life out. He needs to better understand himself or herself
Through the leap of faith. But it's interesting because it doesn't have to be anything major either in your life. It could be something as simple as like, should I talk to that girl or that boy at the bar? You know, that's a leap of faith too, because you might get rejected, and you have to be okay with being rejected. But that's part of the fool's journey. It's part of taking that unknown. You have no idea what's going to happen. The risk, exactly. It could be as simple as that. And another side of the fool, the reversal of it, the shadow side, is that he's on this cliff, right? So it could be perceived as, oh, you're taking a risk, but it's a really reckless risk. So a lot of the times, generally, if you're meant to take the jump, take the leap, take it, right? And it be okay with whatever challenges. But sometimes, why are you really taking the risk? Is it because somebody's forcing you, or is it because I have to prove something to myself, so I'm going to take this risk for that?
Or prove something to someone else.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah. So it really, the shadow side of it could be, oh, it's reckless because you're not really doing it for yourself. You're doing it for another reason. So what is that reason? What is that? What is the byproduct of that? Right. So
yeah. Are you doing it like at an ego level, right? Are you doing it because like you said, I have to prove it to everybody else, and I have to show them that I'm the best and I'm the this? Because then that gets a little bit too like, it's not, you're doing it again for the external.
It reminds
me. It's not the internal.
No, exactly. And it reminds me that the image that comes up is also like, when you're drunk, and then it's like drinking and driving, for example. You're not doing it because you think you can make it. You're doing it because you have something to prove to yourself. It's like, I could drive home. Bah, 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 bah. You know what I mean? Like these little moments where it's like, this is reckless, and you're not really doing it for yourself. You're doing it to prove something to others most of the time. So anyways, in my situations, when I would get caught up in like when my alter ego would show up, and that's another question. That's another conversation for another time. But basically, that's what it reminds me of this recklessness, this fool's journey. It's like, it's the unknown, but is it, you're doing it really because your intuition is telling you, or is because you have something to prove to yourself, right? And
or someone else is like influencing you, or there's all of this. Like on a day-to-day, we're dealing with every single aspect of ourselves and our mirror selves. So it's like there is that aspect that when you see the fool in reverse in a reading, there could be, I could also say, you know what, don't take the risk, step back. It's a time to observe, perhaps, at this very moment in time, right? And it's okay. We don't always have to be like jumping and leaping into the unknowns. Like we can also step back into the unknown and just observe the moment, right? So there's no right, there's no wrong. The fool's journey is just that moment in our lives where there's like this need for clarity, right? You could do the fool's journey in like an hour if you want, right? If like you just go through like however you want. Like some people could do it in a lifetime. There's no right or wrong. there's just here we're just here to explain to you that initial like leap or that step back that we need to take. But essentially, it's still a journey, an inner journey, and not an external one. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah. A big, even if you, like, you'll see with the other cards, the Empress, the Emperor, they could all be people in your life that are reflecting back at what you need to be facing. It feels like it's external, feels like it has nothing to do with you, but in reality, they're reflecting something within you, which is part of this fool's journey, this leap of faith that you're taking. Oh, I want to be free. You know, I think of this concept, I want to be free. What does that mean? That means you have to be free from your emotional state, free from your mental state, free from your physical state. So the only way for that to actually happen and occur, to be fully free, is to encounter people that are going to question your freedom or challenge you mentally or emotionally. Can I stay in my true center? What this person is, for example, let's say angry at me, but I know it has something to do with me. Am I going to retaliate, or am I going to stay in my peace and be like, this has nothing to do with me, move along? You know, it's like these different moments.
And there's like a keyword that I found while I was looking up for the Fool, and it was eternal optimist. And I find that really beautiful, because sometimes it could not be the best road to take.
It could be a shadow aspect, right? Could
totally.
Be you're like, careless again.
You're just being, I'm love and light. I'm everything is happy. Everything is good. Everything is good. Everything's good.
It comes back to the naivety.
Yeah.
Right. That's another keyword of the shadow self, being naive.
And it's like, okay, and it's cool to be an eternal optimist, of course, because you're going into the unknown and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, you know, and be okay with whatever comes to your way. But sometimes we don't need to be like that. Like, so it's all interpretive according to the spreads that we do and the journeys that we do, right? So that's why I love
the questions we have. Yeah.
This is like an interesting, and it's like it brings back your journey too. Like we're basically naive. Like we come into this journey as like completely deprogrammed, right? Completely pure until we're 8 or 7 or however we know, and then after we get into a programming system that programs us to the nth degree, and then we get out and we're like, oh, you know, and we're the fool again, where we need to.
It almost reminds me of like you come in as a child, because you always say, you know, everything's within. You actually know everything as a child. It's just you're almost by design programmed to forget everything, to learn these programmings so you can then unlearn them for whatever reason in your journey. And what's really interesting about the Fool's Journey is that you come to the end. So the World card will be the last card, which only means you finish this cycle. Now you're entering the Fool again with a new cycle and new lessons and new. If the purpose is freedom, well, you're going to have another Fool's Journey. You're going to have another cycle to help you become freer than you were the last cycle. And I love how you said the Fool Journey could be an hour long. You know, you can go through all of those elements when you really get good at being the observer. Because discerning, and which is part of like the ultimate optimist isn't naive. I feel it knows that there's certain things it doesn't have to do in an optimistic way. I don't have to go in this dark alley at like, I don't know, at 5 o'clock in the morning, where, you know, there's like bars with gangs, and you know what I mean? There's like certain things that's just like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to learn that lesson. There's like just certain elements.
Although I want us to come in here.
Yeah.
If you're an eternal optimist and you're a fool who's a little bit like, like silly, maybe you can go down that alley and not get affected at all by these gangs. But you're like, yo, you know, and your energy is like, oh, okay.
It just weeds everything out.
Right. Yeah. So it's like a very, and like I say, like, you know, we can do tarot readings with one card, but it's always easier for us to help you along this journey with accompanying cards, right? So that's why we could say, oh, you're going to be you're this, you're that, you're that. But if the next one is the King of Swords, and I say, yo, this is the time for a revolution, you know, or you can like that's the beauty of tarot reading. And so the Fool begins this journey with us. And he or she or it begins by telling us it's okay. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be crazy. It's okay to be foolish. It's okay to be dark. It's okay to be whatever. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to jump off the cliff. However you want to do this journey, it's all yours. You will always be guided with the little dog by your side, the cat, the angels, the loved ones, the masters, the teachers, the guides are always around you. Are you ready? Like, are you ready to take that step?
100%. And also, are you ready to face the consequences too?
Yeah.
You know,
because you're going to meet the devil.
Are you going to be
You're
okay
going
with
to
it?
meet all of it.
You know? Yeah, 100%.
Love it.
And we have a couple of takeaways too.
Yeah.
In regards to.
So one of them is, has your fool's journey begun? Like,
has it? What? Say it again.
Has your fool's journey begun? Like, have you, like, you know what? I could also say you've had like 20 fool's journeys in your lifetime.
Or more.
So maybe you could tell us one or two. And you have a good one.
I can't see them.
When did you take a leap of faith into the unknown?
Yeah. When is the last time you took a leap of faith into the unknown? When was the last time? And it could be something as simple, like I said, talking to that boy or girl at the club or at the coffee shop, you know?
And also another takeaway that she brought up, which I liked, because it was bringing the shadow side of it. So was this leap of faith reckless? Like, was it done because someone else told you to do it? Or is this leap of faith something that came from you? So that's kind of interesting to look at, because if your leaps of faith are always because someone's encouraging you, pushing you, doing, or influencing you, that's something to look at and to see how it will develop and evolve onto this journey with us. And it's kind of cool. You know what? This is amazing. I like this. You should all, like, not should. You could, like, have a fool's journey in mind while we're moving through it. So you can see how you've reacted. Oh my God, that's how I reacted to the Empress in my life, the Emperor in my life. That's like,
or also, if there is a fool's journey that you are thinking of taking a leap, maybe take it now as we're actually doing it, so we can guide you through it and help you through this leap of faith. If it's something that it's really instinctual, if it's really coming from your soul, and you're gonna know it's gonna come from your soul because there's no excuses around it. There's no big storyline or narratives. It's really just like, there's no explanations. It's just a yes or do this. There's nothing of that. Usually if there's a storyline behind it, or if there's excuses behind it, that's no longer your soul talking, your intuition. That is the fear aspects of it. So yeah, if you do have a fool's journey, tell us what it is, and tell us if you're ready to take the leap, and if you want to take the leap and continue this journey with us and see where it takes you. Or even if you need guidance in the leap of faith, if you're taking
leave us comments, talk to us.
Say, I'm doing this, and what do you suggest? Or if you need any guidance, personal guidance, we'll be happy to write those in the comment section. And I think that's it.
I think let us know. Let us know right now, since we're starting with 0, if there's anything else you would want to know about these cards on this journey. Just let us know in the comments, because you're really good at that, telling us. So, and that's it.
If you have any questions, or if you have any insights for us, I would love to hear them as well. So
happy Fool
today. Happy
love
Fool.
You. All right.
Happy Fools and entering this fool's journey. You know, we put episode 1, but I think we should have put 0.
Oh yeah.
We'll try to change that out.
Okay.
Bye.